You've been listening to an original radio converted with the Aurora Design products. In this video, we will be demonstrating the basic and advanced features and operation of a radio converted with the industry-leading Aurora Design AM/FM, Bluetooth, and USB products. Unlike cheap aftermarket or reproduction radios, an original radio converted with Aurora Design products offers unmatched features, performance, quality, and authenticity. From small things like original company logos and trademarks such as the bow tie in this original 1955 Chevrolet radio, you won't find on any aftermarket or reproduction radio, to advanced features found only on 21st century OEM radios, nothing even comes close to Aurora Design products. Features like fully integrated Bluetooth and USB built right inside the radio, all accessible from the existing controls on the radio, to bulletproof designs that withstand reverse battery, speaker shorts, and extremely high temperature operation, just to name a few. Aurora Design products have no equal. All pertinent specs are available on our website. We encourage you to review these specs in this video before deciding on the right radio for your classic car or hot rod. Your converted radio will operate exactly as original, only with more power, more features, and more quality than you ever thought possible. In this segment, we'll cover the basic operation. All radio controls operate as original. Turning the radio on, adjusting the volume, tone, and tuning controls are all operated as normal.
1-800-TRY-MANS or go to manslumber.com and find a Trex Pro
Adjusting the tone
to help you get your project started today.
Man's Lumber and Millwork, the #1 Trex dealer in Michigan, has a team of certified Trex installers
tuning
to help
Rot or give you splinters.
UICD.
and the push buttons.
He makes the pass to Jermaine.
Cleared by the Ann Arbor Symphony Orchestra.
Approvals in 1 week than ever before. Then credit no.
Note the smooth, natural feel of the controls. The volume and tone are as precise as ever. The tuning is smooth and accurate. The push buttons work and feel as original. Even though the radio now uses state-of-the-art digital electronics, due to the advanced Aurora Design hardware and software, you'll never know what's under the hood. That is, until you really start pushing the radio. You can see the front panel status LED that indicates the operating mode of the radio by displaying different colors and flashing. This LED is optional, and you can decide when you have your radio updated if you want the LED or if you'd rather keep the dial face as original. Since this is a Wonder Bar radio, all the signal seeking functionality is totally functional on both AM and FM. The seek button, sensitivity control, electric push buttons all operate better than original. This will all be the same for Town & Country and Electro Touch radios as well. No other reproduction or conversion offers features such as compatibility with the original sensitivity or Town & Country buttons. The push buttons are set exactly as original. Usually you find the station you want to set, pull the push button out, and press it back in. On this Wonder Bar radio, the buttons are set by flipping down the little access door and moving the red sliders to line up with the station.
As always, Chicken Shack serves Michigan's best. Triple D. Retiring.
So let's set that station. Flip the door down. Line up the little pointer. Go to a station. And then back to the station we just set. On radios that did not originally come with an AM/FM switch, you simply switch the radio off and back on quickly to change bands. The radio will always return to the band you selected until you change it, so the next time you get in your car, the radio is always right where you left off. So right now we're in FM, and now we're in AM.
or sky watching tips.
Now if you were to turn the radio off and come back sometime later, right back in AM. If you want to switch back to FM,
Difference in anything.
and now you're in FM.
Real.
See,
14, live on stage, Kendrick Lamar, Big Sean, Trey Songz.
An auxiliary input is provided for connecting MP3 players, CD players, satellite radios, etc. To select the aux input, two different methods can be chosen during conversion. The first is to simply tune to the far low end of the dial, in either AM or FM, doesn't matter. The radio will switch to the input mode. For convenience, you can set one of the radio push buttons to this position for easy access to the auxiliary input.
And here's what's coming up next.
So if I tune all the way to the low end, and I have an iPod here, returning to the radio is as simple as tuning to another station.
Simple things like replacing your air
In fact, you can actually let the Wonder Bar do it. The second option to select the auxiliary input is to use the power switch, as is done for AM/FM selection. With this mode, you simply switch the power off and back on quickly, and the radio will cycle between AM, FM, and auxiliary input. You may need to set the volume level on your connected device for the proper sound level. USB operation is as simple as plugging in a USB flash drive that contains MP3 encoded audio files. These files can be music, audiobooks, podcasts, etc. Once the USB drive is inserted, the radio will automatically mute and switch over to the USB input. Audio will start playing in a few seconds. You can skip to the next or previous song by simply twisting the tuning control to the right or left. So there we're on the radio. I have a USB drive with some music. And to switch, if you want to go to the next song, twist to the right. And if you want to go back, when the drive is removed, it goes right back to radio mode where you left it. Bluetooth operation is equally as simple since everything is automatic. No switches to throw or knobs to fiddle with. When Bluetooth audio comes in, the radio mutes and switches to the Bluetooth input. Just as with USB, you can easily skip to the next or previous song using the tuning control. The Bluetooth will always automatically try to reconnect to the last device it was connected to. In this way, there's no need to do anything with your phone to use it once the radio is set up. So here's a phone that's already been paired with the radio. If I start playing music, and then the same with the USB, I can go to the next song. Or previous song. When the Bluetooth stops, it takes a moment for the device, the phone or player, to actually disconnect. And it will return right to the radio. Now if you have a USB plugged in, and you're listening to USB music, and let's say you start listening to Bluetooth music. And I can still go to the next song. When the Bluetooth stops, the USB will pick up exactly from where it left off. And removing the USB, we're right back to the radio. If a phone call comes in while you're listening to the radio or USB or whatever, the radio will mute and you have the option of accepting or rejecting the phone call. Simply twist the tuning control just like you did to do next or previous, only it'll do accept or reject. When the call is finished, or you end the call, the radio will continue from where it left off. For example, if you were listening to USB music, it will pick up right from where it left off. These are the kind of features usually only found on modern radios, but now you can have them on your original radio. So let's go ahead,
Your first new bike tune-up is free.
plug in USB,
This doctor makes house calls. Meet
and we're listening to USB music. Now, let's call the phone. And the ringtone will come through the car speakers, and let's say I want to accept this call. And now the call is actually connected. You can talk to the person, it'll come over the car speakers, and they will talk back to you. The unit comes with a microphone on a 3-meter long cable that can be placed in the appropriate place in the car for best performance. When you're done with the call, simply end it. The USB picked up right from where it left off. Now that we've seen how all the basic operations work, we'll take a look at some of the advanced features of the radio. First, the advanced digital electronics in the radio detect how many and which speakers you have connected to the radio. In this way, it can determine automatically what modes and controls to support. For instance, if you only have one speaker connected, the radio knows to automatically go into the mono mode. If you only have 2 front speakers, it automatically knows you don't need a fader control, and so on. No need to send the radio back for programming or have to remove the radio to fiddle with switches. The radio is smart enough to figure this all out on its own. If your radio originally had a fader or balance control, they'll operate as original. If your radio didn't have one or both of these controls, virtual controls are available. To adjust the virtual balance control, twist the tone control twice to the left, like this.
Pizza is now serving Detroit's original square Sicilian-style thin crust pizza. Crunchy crust.
No need to be precise, just a smooth movement, and the electronics will figure out what you're doing. You'll hear a confirmation tone in the left and then the right channels to signify you're adjusting the balance. You can now use the tone control to set the balance to the desired setting. As long as you're moving the tone control, the radio will wait for you. When you're done, the radio will give you a single confirmation beep to tell you that the setting has been made. So if we're going to go ahead and set the balance, and now I can
I'm in love with their new orange tangerine real fruit smoothie. And get this.
I can set the balance for as long as I want, as long as I keep moving the tone control.
Cafe and Bake Shop.
And when I get it where I want it,
Amazing coffee.
Small plus taxes at U.S. restaurants.
you get a confirmation tone to tell you it's all set, and now the tone
Get a 10-year sealed
is back to a tone control.
monoxide alarm start at just $24.97.
Likewise, to set the fader, twist the tone control twice to the right. You'll hear a confirmation tone in the front and then rear channels to signify you're adjusting the fader. As before, when finished with the setting, the radio will give a single confirmation tone.
Starting at just $24.97. More saving? Home Depot.
And now I can set the fader.
Store for details.
You know that feeling you get when all the things that fit
Little hard to tell with this speaker setup, but as long as you're turning and adjusting, it'll stay in this mode. And when you're done,
JCPenney with savings like $10 off with 25 or more with coupon on select home merchandise. And it's just in time.
in the basic operations section, we saw how a USB drive will automatically start playback as soon as it is inserted. You can, however, leave a USB drive plugged in all the time. If the USB drive is already plugged in when the radio is turned on, it will not automatically start playback. You can start and stop playback using the volume control. Using the same motion as was used for virtual balance and fader, twist the volume control twice in the direction of lower volume. The USB drive will start playback. Twist the volume control again and it will pause playback. If the USB drive is left in pause for more than 10 seconds, it will again go to sleep and the radio will return to the previous mode. The front panel status LED will blink to show you are paused. So let's go ahead and turn the radio off. We already have a USB drive inserted, so when I turn the radio on, we're in normal radio mode. So to start USB playback, and you can skip to the next station or song, just like before. Now to pause it, do it again. The LED will blink to show you're in pause. If you leave it there for more than 10 seconds, the USB will go to sleep and the radio will come back on. Also, if we go back and start the USB back up, you can actually change modes of the USB between random playback and sequential playback. To do that, put the USB module into pause. While it's in pause, if you twist the tuning control to the right, you hear a single beep. That means you're in random playback. If you twist it to the left, you hear 2 beeps. That means you're in sequential playback. If you do it again to the left, you'll hear a descending tone. That means you're in sequential playback, but start again right from the beginning of all your songs. So if I go back into just normal sequential playback, and then start the music up again, now it will sequentially play back through each of your albums or files on the drive. The same as with USB, Bluetooth playback can be paused and started by twisting the volume control. If the Bluetooth is paused for more than a few seconds, this is determined by the software on your phone or other Bluetooth device, the radio will return to normal operation. This operation can also be used to mute and unmute phone calls for privacy. As with USB, the front panel status LED will blink to show you are paused or muted. So if we go back in, and let's unplug the USB. So we're listening to the radio, but we'd like to start playing music on the Bluetooth, and it's in our pocket. And again, you can skip songs and do whatever. You want to pause it, go back to the radio. The device will pause, time out, and you'll be back to the radio. Never had to pull the phone out of your pocket. All the controls are right from the front of the radio. Now, one final feature with Bluetooth is you have to be able to pair Bluetooth devices. So let me first go and unpair this device. Okay, so now these two devices don't know about each other. So when you first pair a device to the radio, you do the same motion with the volume control that you do to pause or play. The radio will go into pairing mode. Aurora Design BT1 will pop up on your device. Go ahead and select that. And it'll take a few seconds for the phone to pair with the radio. It'll tell you you're connected, and now you're all set from then on. You can go ahead and go back to your music. Or go back to the radio. The advanced digital electronics in the Aurora Design products are fully protected against faults. Standard SAE J1113 compliance is built into the radio. Reverse battery, double battery jump starts, load dump, mutual coupling are all handled with ease. Shorted speaker wires are not only handled, but error codes are displayed on the front panel status LED to help track down the issue. For instance, if I short out a speaker, no damage will result to the radio, and a code will be flashed to pinpoint the error. When the error is removed, the speaker output automatically returns to normal operation. Don't try this with any aftermarket or reproduction radio unless you want a dead channel. So if I, let's say, take this speaker and disconnect the wires from it, and I'll short those two wires together and turn the radio on. you'll see one blink, followed by 3 blinks. If you go look that up in your owner's manual, 1 means left front, 3 means the wires are shorted together. So you can pinpoint exactly what the problem is with the speaker wiring. The rest of the radio plays fine. If I then remove the short, connect the speaker back up, speaker starts playing, the channel comes back active. We hope this video helps demonstrate the advanced features and quality of Aurora Design products. Be sure to closely examine the listed specifications and actual operations of the various options you have for your classic or hot rods radio before making a decision. We're confident you'll choose to have your original radio brought up to 21st century specs using Aurora Design products. A list of fully qualified dealers who will convert your radio is available on our website.